Meet Abraham. He's a really important person in the Hebrew Bible. He's also a highly respected prophet in the Quran. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all look up to him as a founding father. In this video, we'll explore his story, what old texts say, and how modern scholars understand him. He was first called Abram, then his name was changed to Abraham, meaning father of many nations. The book of Genesis says he came from Ur in Mesopotamia, went through Haran, and ended up in Canaan. God promised him many children, land, and that he would be a blessing to all the families on earth. When he was 75, Abraham listened to God's call and moved to Canaan. God changed his name and made circumcision a sign of their special agreement. First, Ishmael was born through Hagar. Much later, against all odds, Sarah gave birth to Isaac. He bought the cave of Machpelah to be a family burial place, which was a real sign that the land promise would come true. Even though he had other children, Isaac was still the one who would inherit the promise. Abraham's journey wasn't a straight line. He left a fancy city for lands where people moved around a lot. He settled in Haran until Terah died, and then he followed the call. Canaan already had people living there, which caused problems that would last for hundreds of years. He built altars in Shechem and Bethel, marking the land and showing his loyalty to God. His wandering life became a symbol of a spiritual journey toward a promised future. The call didn't come with a map, it demanded complete trust. From local gods to a personal relationship with a God who is bigger than any place. His obedience is a huge trust in a promise bigger than himself. This change is also about religion. It sets the stage for believing in one God. Religions that trace their spiritual family tree back to Abraham. His physical journey shows his spiritual change. Three main things: a nation, land, and a blessing for all families. God took him outside. Count the stars, that's how many descendants you'll have. And he believed the Lord, and it was counted to him as righteousness. God made the agreement official with an old and serious ceremony. Only God walked between the pieces, a promise that was one-sided and didn't depend on Abraham. The promises of descendants and land were confirmed. The boundaries of the promise were drawn. Exile and hardship for 400 years were announced, followed by final freedom. A promise of a people and a place, sealed by God's oath under a sky full of stars. A very important agreement. Suffering and rescue are part of God's plan. God renamed them. Abraham, father of many, Sarah, princess. Their future was set. A nation and kings would come from their family. Circumcision, a physical and lasting sign of the forever agreement. Every boy on the 8th day, generation after generation. Not just a medical thing, but a special ceremony that showed who they were and brought them together. Anyone who refused it was cut off from their people. Belonging was important. A living memory of the agreement, from father to son, faith in both the physical and spiritual. Land and descendants, promises tied to places and family lines. The sign showed a spiritual promise written into the very bodies of the people. The long delay tested their faith. Sarah couldn't have children. It was a solution that made sense for their culture, but it wasn't the final promise. They announced, "Sarah will have a son." She laughed. "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" Isaac, meaning he laughs, was the answer after decades of waiting. The confusing command seemed to go against the promise. Isaac asked about the lamb. Abraham answered, "God will provide." The most important moment, complete surrender in faith. God stopped his hand. The test was passed. The Lord provided the sacrifice instead of Isaac. The Akedah, a much discussed and deep story about faith and obedience. From a religious point of view, it means no human sacrifices. God wants trust, not killing. Abraham is a father figure for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In Judaism, Avraham Avinu, the start of the covenant, Brit Milah, circumcision, and the promise of the land. In Christianity, a spiritual father, being made right with God through faith, Romans, Galatians. In Islam, Ibrahim, a pure believer in one God, the tradition of Ishmael, building the Kaaba and remembering the sacrifice, a common ancestor who helps different religions talk to each other and understand each other better. Was Abraham a real person in history? We don't have any direct proof that his life happened. There are similar laws, but many people think they are too general. Genesis probably got its final shape when people were in exile or after. Abraham as a cultural and religious memory to explain who they were and their agreement with God. Somewhere between history and religion, a symbol with a huge impact, even if we can't find physical proof. In our modern world, the story of an old nomad still means a lot. Faith, doubt, and taking risks for something bigger. He's the classic traveller, about who you are, where you belong, and your land. His story can cause disagreements, but it can also lead to respect and shared understanding. A symbol of faith, the human journey, and a key connection in global religious history. Abraham. A traveller, someone who received a promise, a father figure, and an example of faith. What does Abraham's journey and promise mean to you? Abraham's story is old, but its echoes are still alive today.